The manifestation tip I want to share this morning that I've been thinking about a lot, and many of you have heard me mention this in other groups, is my nervous system in relation to my manifestations. I do believe we have the recording going now. Perfect. The manifestation tip I want to share this. Let's do this. And I think we can do this. And I think I'm good. Although it's not showing the gallery view in the recording, but I guess that's going to be all right. Let me do this. All right. Let me get back to what I was saying. Yes, I'm all over the place. All right. Manifestation tip in relation to me saying, let's take a deep breath and nervous system regulation. Regulated, calm nervous system is key, is optimal energy for manifesting. So I have been really practicing checking in with my body, with my energy to see where I'm at energetically. And I'll share a little tip for you. One thing that I have noticed personally, and I just noticed it when I sat down to eat, is that I hold my breath for no reason at all. And I've heard people say, are you holding your breath before? And it's not literally holding your breath like passing out no oxygen. It's the idea of tightening your chest and breathing like this, only in the upper chest area. That's what is meant by holding your breath. That type of breathing is meant to oxygenate. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Your blood and your body quickly. It puts you into fight or flight and prepares your body to get ready to either run or to fight. So that breathing is really good if you're getting ready to run a mile, or if you're getting ready to work out at the gym, or if a lion is chasing you. However, we get in the habit of doing that and our nervous system gets all out of whack. So I invite you to check in with your breathing throughout the day and make sure you're not doing that fight or flight breathing, but you're lowering your shoulders and you're breathing into your belly. That deep, restful breathing, the rest and digest, that I am safe. It's okay for my nervous system to calm down type breathing. Because really, that's kind of all the breathing you need to be doing, unless you're doing something high stress in your day. Really work on resituating your nervous system by focusing on your breathing throughout the day. Really easy tip for you. And what does that have to do with manifesting? Because a calm nervous system puts you into calm, high frequency vibes so that your manifestations can come more quickly and be more focused. All right. So that's my little tip this morning. Hi, hello, I'm Valorie Lewis. I'm a psychic medium and tarot and oracle card reader and goddess extraordinaire. And I am here today to read for you all. This is our Magical Monday manifestations, focusing on how can we allow these messages to come in to resonate with us and to use the insights, the wisdom, the guidance to help us manifest our lives, manifest in ways that are pleasing to us. Fuck all the rest. What do y'all want out of life? What do y'all want out of life? Let's figure out how we can get there. All right, so we start off with a tarot pool, with oracle cards, and then as time permits, I have started pulling one card pulls for select members of the audience, and that is always spirit led. So let's get started with the tarot card. I'm looking to the side because that's where all my decks are. I'm trying to figure out, oh, that's interesting, which deck spirit wants me to pull from today. That is super interesting. I do not pull from this deck often, but this is the one that's standing out, is the Celtic Tarot. I also have resituated my desk, so I really have no room to put these cards that I pulled. So we will see how it goes. Improvisation is on the menu today. I sent out a newsletter. If you're on my newsletter, I hope you got it this morning. Check your emails, shouldn't be going to spam by now. I've been sending out enough that it shouldn't be going to spam, but it might be in one of your alternate folders. It's got some information in there. Let's see. I hope you are members of the free membership or even the paid membership on Tarot Unicorns and Coffee. Please check out the website. Join if you feel so inclined. Celtic Tarot. Spirit, what do you need us to know that will help us manifest with more ease and clarity and fun? Who's ready for a little fun and excitement? I feel like we've been going through it collectively, and it doesn't seem like it's going to let up anytime soon. So if we got to go through it, at least let's make it fun. Let's see, we've got 4 cards. Turning them over now. I want to be able to see the chat because I feel like y'all are saying some things over there in the chatty chat. I feel the energy. In Germany, we say, I'm not going to say it because I don't know what I'm saying when I say that word, but I trust you. All right. Um, ooh, Jessie said she heard, I'm assuming from spirit, she said Nicole energy. I don't know what that is, but I want some. And immediately heard this reading is going to be extra juicy. All right. Extra juice, maybe based on the deck. Once I start showing y'all cards from this deck, you'll be like, oh, okay. I see why. Okay, first up is the Four of Swords. Right after I said, let's do some energy shifting and add some fun, then we get the take a nap card. Y'all know I read this card as the take a nap card, and you can see why. Almost always portrayed as an individual at rest, sleeping, sometimes even portrayed as unalive. But look at this one on some clouds. Four of Swords, and head turned away from us, not really looking at us. So not even bother. Oh, look, there's a symbol in the cloud. I don't know what that symbol is. Anybody? Some kind of Celtic symbol because it's the Celtic Trail. Four of Swords. Swords. We just got out of Mercury retrograde. Yay. So maybe that's what the rest is about because swords is air energy and swords talks about our communication. So think throat chakra if you're thinking chakras, speech, how do we communicate with ourselves? That self-talk, how do we communicate with others? Air energy also represents our thought processes. Where is our mind focus? Where are our thoughts focused? Do we need to do any mindset tweaks? And so we have the Four of Swords saying, take a rest and reflect. And I don't feel like this is like a rest and reflect, like rest now because there's something coming. I feel like y'all just came out of something. Let's rest. Let's recalibrate. Let's find our footing before we move into the week. I don't feel like this rest is a long lived thing. I feel like it might even be over by this afternoon. It feels like it has the energy of just take a breath. Just wait and don't rush into your week. Maybe have a little bit of a rough plan, maybe have a little bit of intention set. Just take a moment to pause and reset yourself before you move into the week. So it doesn't have to take all day, it doesn't have to take several days. Take whatever is comfortable for you. But I do get the energy of this is a short lived message, but very important before we hurdle. That's not my word, that's spirit's word. Before we hurdle into the week ahead. Oh, hurdle energy. Good Lord. Feel like I just picked myself up. Now you're going to throw me back down the hill, spirit? Come on. All right, Four Swords. Give yourself a rest, a mental break, a chance to recalibrate, a chance to reflect on what has been, and situate yourself for what's upcoming, what might come next for you. What might come next for you? What do you want to come next for you? What do you want to come next for you? Ask yourself that question during this period. And then after the Four of Swords, we quickly move into the Three of Cauldrons, the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is usually represented by three women, a sisterhood of some type. Doesn't have to be specific to females, but it's that idea of feminine, divine feminine energy coming together collectively. So we all have divine feminine energy. I like that this cups has water in the picture for the Three of Cups because water is the element associated with cups. So we're thinking emotions, we're thinking flow, we're thinking love. Definitely, this is community. So after you've rested up, had that mental break, that recalibration, that let me think about what I want to do moving forward, this is definitely a good week to be in community of some sort. You're already doing that by being in an online meetup event, But see if you can get out in nature. Please don't go naked because I don't want y'all getting arrested. But see if you can get out in nature and in community. That can take many different forms. If you like talking to trees, then going in nature around trees is your nature and your community. Preferably connect with other humans, but in these days and times, that can be kind of use your discernment on who you want to be around. The idea is to put yourself in good energy that will uplift you and help cleanse you. I don't know where that word cleanse came from, but Spirit gave it to me. Cleanse. Do y'all feel like y'all need a cleanse this week? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Nature's going to help you with that. Nature is going to help you with that. So get out in nature and allow nature to do her thing to pull those energies that aren't serving you away from you. Oh, if y'all came to my moon event, y'all have a great ritual to practice. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because y'all should have came to the event. No, but a great ritual to practice out in nature with these moon energies. And it's the idea of releasing and letting go. So get out in nature, find ways to release and let go. Maybe you're going to talk to the trees and tell nature your worries, or maybe you're going to just let that energy flow out through the soles of your feet, whatever it is. And also community if you feel so inclined. All right. It's about emotions though. This cleansing and this clearing is very much tied to our emotional cleansing, emotional clearing. And I do believe that's why we have the Three of Cups representing community, because we have that water energy, that emotional energy. All right, what's up next, Spirit? Oh, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Because look at this card. What are we doing? Because the messages are not for y'all like I'm exempt. Spirit just said, you are not exempt, young lady. All right, here we go. Eight of Swords. Y'all know what this means. Put it over in chat what this image evokes for you. What's the first thing you notice in this image? I'll tell you the first thing that I'm very familiar with this card. I pull this card for myself when I get caught up in the cycles, hamster wheel in my brain, and I can't break free from repeating thoughts or repeating habits. The first thing that came to my mind or that caught my eye was the castle in the back, lit by what I assume is sunrise, could be sunset. How are you interpreting that? And the fact that all of these eight swords, there's this one that has the caduceus around it. What does that represent? Healing, medicine. Okay, the message of the Eight of Swords. Swords energy again, air energy again. Our thoughts, our communication. This is the idea of you are being trapped by your own insistence, Spirit's word, on sticking to your stories. What stories do you insist on sticking to that are creating your own personal prison? She is not bound tightly. The ground is wet. The swords that she thinks, the thoughts, the swords that she thinks are imprisoning her can easily be pushed over because they're stuck into wet, marshy land. She can shimmy and shake and those binds will fall off of her. So this imprisonment is one of her own doing. She's thought her thoughts long enough that now they are restrictive and entrapping her. What thoughts, what stories do you insist on holding on to that are keeping you restricted on your path? Life is hard. My boss sucks. I don't get paid enough at my job. I don't have any friends. Nobody appreciates me. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I wish I was on a beach. Oh, some of those might be mine. I wish I was on a beach. I can't. I don't have. I want can even be a limiting and restrictive belief based on the energy behind those statements. What stories have you been telling yourself? I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not pretty enough for that. My situation doesn't allow me to do that. I don't have enough time for that. I'm not educated enough for that. What stories do you insist are true? Don't think about the ones that you're already working on rephrasing. Think about the ones that you call your personal truth. What would you tell me is true in this moment for you and your path? And re-examine them and ask yourself, are my truths limiting me? Are my truths limiting me? Over in the chat, Kathy said, I pulled a letting go of stories this morning. Well, here's your second echo of that message from the divine. And then the last one, when we get through with letting go of those stories, what's on the other side of that? Rebirth. Card number 20, rebirth. I'm trying to think of what the actual tarot card is for card number 20. It's going to come to me in a minute. The world? The world. Is it the world? 20. What's 20, y'all? Nicole. Jacqueline.
Isn't it the death card? Death and
It's the
rebirth?
death card. Yep.
Yeah.
20?
Yep. It is.
I guess I don't know everything about tarot. Thanks. I get thrown off when I'm pulling from a different deck. Death and Rebirth, card number 20. I thought Death and Rebirth was a lower number. That's why my brain was off. But Death and Rebirth. So this makes sense. You know what I think of when I pull this? This is from the Celtic Tarot. Every time I pull this card, I see baby Moses. I don't know what y'all see, but I see baby Moses floating down the Nile River. I like the sun, the light that he's floating towards, and y'all can see those images in the sky. To me, that represents celestial beings, perhaps even angels overlooking, spirit guides, making sure he gets to where he's supposed to go. Now, if this was baby Moses, which I don't know why my mind is going to Bible stories, but if this was baby Moses, think about the rebirth that is happening here. He's already born, he's already baby, he's already into this world. But he had a bit of a traumatic rebirth when his birth mother decided to send him off so that he could be found and cared for by another mother who found him. That's a rebirth too. His original path completely diverted, put into a new household,
It's
a
judgment.
new
Stop.
situation.
It's not death. Thank
You
you,
know what?
Kimberly.
I knew it. I knew it. But we're gonna
What
keep
is
going.
it, Kimberly?
When I get messages from spirit and I start down a riff, I believe that that is the message I was intended to deliver. So we're going to go with this message, and then we're going to go with what card 20 actually is. So I do believe it's talking about that drastic diversion of our path that can constitute a rebirth. Drastic in the sense of leaving your birth family and being situated with another family before you were even old enough to understand what was happening cognitively. This baby, for sure, their nervous system understood what was going on. Their emotional
Judgment. Sorry.
understood what was going on. Their intuition understood what was going on. All of those things. You know what's interesting though is the barricade that's keeping this baby from moving down the path towards the light. What is your barricade that is keeping you from the rebirth that is beckoning you forward? What is your barricade that is keeping you from being born into the most authentic version of yourself, born into the most powerful version of yourself, born into the version that doesn't have the chaos and the calamity surrounding them, born into the version that just feels better? What is your barricade? What's keeping you from that? If you don't know, Spirit is inviting you to sit in meditation and figure it out. All right, now I'm going to go to the book. Rebirth is still not giving me any clue. What's
It
the
is
card?
judgment. It's judgment.
Judgment. Good Lord. All that dies must be reborn, according to the Celtic Tarot. The keywords are assimilation, reconciliation, and rebirth. We're going to rewrite from the book. The italicized little quote for this book, for this card is, "My form is undone, but do not mourn. I will rise anew from the cauldron born." Now that does sound like the judgment card being risen. Okay. 3 times this is the book. 3 times I was in bondage deep in Aeronaut's realm, and beneath Dylan's wave in his damp citadel, I was touched by the tears of the deep. In time, I received my Awen, A-W-E-N, from the cauldron of Ceridwen. I know I'm saying these names wrong, y'all, just roll with me. And nobody knows to this day whether my flesh is fish or meat. I was 9 months in the womb of the great witch, back when they called me Gaiwen Bach. But now I am Taliesin. She vowed to kill me, to cut my throat and bleed me into the river, but her gaze upon my newborn features warmed her vengeful heart. Upon the waters upon the waters in a belly of skin I floated, her blessings as a kiss upon my brow. And for decades I floated here and there, deep in the womb of connection, knowing all things, yet no things, all at the same time. Their land and sea and sky, I traversed their mystery. My birth at the blessed Salmon Weir was more than a birth of a child from long ago. Nay, it is in fact your birth. Behold now. Elphin gazed in wonder at my radiant brow. Taliesin they called me, but who in fact am I? It is the fool, you see, here thus unwrapped from swaddling cloth in coracle damp, but who I ask is the fool. So this is according to this Tarot. I know I said a bunch of names and told y'all a bunch of stories you're not connected with and don't understand. The whole Tarot tells a story of Celtic traditions. This particular thing that we want to focus in on is that this deck considers the Judgment card, the rebirth of the Fool. So the Fool has made it almost to the end of his journey, with 21 being the end of his journey. Before he reaches the end of his journey, in this Tarotist story, he is reborn right before the end of his journey. What phase, chapter, part of your journey, your spiritual journey, your life's journey is coming to a close and beckoning feels stronger than a beckon, y'all. It feels like a celestial command to be reborn so that you can step into the next chapter as the new you that is ready to accept the next chapter, that is ready to manifest the next chapter. Divinatory meanings from this book. The time has come to take a good, long, and hard look at either the question at hand or, in fact, your entire life. Rebirth, judgment, is about precisely that, thinking of and making practical changes that bring about new situations. This is a card of deep transformation. Decisions have to be made, and the past must be put to sleep. Maybe that was that nap card. I've never thought of it now until just reading that. Maybe this is your past being put to sleep. And the past must be put to sleep, placed in a box, wrapped in gingham cloth, and a nice ribbon tied around it. The time has come to stand up and say, that's it. Enough is enough. Who's ready to say that about your life? Who's ready to proclaim that to your spirit guides? Listen, I've been doing everything you asked. Enough is enough. Time for the good stuff. I invite you to say that on mute out loud right now to the universe. That's it. Enough is enough. But all of this comes about by means of reconciliation. You have found peace within the situation, and the time is right to move on. You have found peace with your life, with this portion of your journey, and the time is right to move on. Spiritually, this heralds a new awakening, a coming into being. This is a glorious card with far-reaching consequences. Nothing will ever be quite the same again. Fearing the unknown is epitomized by rebirth appearing reversed in a reading. We did not get it reversed. So, let's see. There are possibly too many paths to choose from, too many potential risks, and you might not be willing to take them. So perhaps it's best to look back at the true root of the issue. The status quo may be familiar and to an extent comfortable. After all, it is better than the devil you know. Devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. But will that bring about a state of liberation, freedom, peace, If you just stay with the status quo just because it's easier and because it's comfortable, is that what you want? I'm gonna answer for you. No, no, the hell it's not. So what are y'all gonna do to change it, to shift it, to manifest more of what you want? All right, so that is the tarot portion. Then we're gonna move into oracle cards. I like y'all's comments over there. Your self-judgment is what is keeping you bound, as the Eight of Swords showed. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly put over there which one. Kimberly got us on the right track. Okay, now we're going to move on to oracle cards. Spirit, what do you need us to know about this energy, about this stepping into the new us, about letting go, about resting and reflecting? Wisdom of the Shadow Oracle deck. Illustrated in part by a local Kansas City friend named Jenny Hahn. You might know her from Creative Soul Nectar. She works very closely with Stephanie Gray, my close personal friend. And so she did the illustrations in this deck. The deck itself is written by Jessica Richetti. And the card that we pulled today is tenderness. Tenderness. Please be alphabetical. Let's see. Not sure how this deck is orientated. Here we go. Tenderness. The art on this card is called After the Fire. The quote is, I tend to myself. I offer myself tenderness. I allow a replenishment of all layers of my being. Tending and tenderness, these are the key words. Charred, burned, burned out. Gentle core, regenerating, receiving, resting, repairing, rebalancing the inner space. Flowers growing from the fertile soil and fresh aliveness. Each layer inviting new possibility. There are little tiny flowers around her. Here's the meaning. We aren't machines. We are humans. Regardless of what lives we create for ourselves, we are vulnerable to hurts. We are susceptible to burnout and many internal burns that cannot be seen by the eye. Anybody walking around with internal burns, meanwhile telling the whole world, I'm fine, it's okay, because they can't see what's going on inside. We need spaces to recharge, realign, renourish, regenerate. We need spaces to offer tenderness and tending to ourselves. If we don't offer this to ourselves on a regular basis, we are likely to walk around feeling fragile. Tenderness and tending don't have to come when we are already burned out. We can create spaces for ourselves to mend, heal, and be so that we can avoid that outcome. If we were offering tender healing to a physical burn, we might call in some regenerative herbs, be very gentle, and create a space where the repair could take place. We can offer this tenderness and healing to our inner burns and invisible hurts. Think about ways that you can push yourself beyond what feels good. Think about ways that you do push yourself beyond what feels good. Think about ways that you offer yourself tenderness or hold back tenderness. Notice what tenderness is being called for in this moment, be it mental, emotional, physical, energetic, or some other layer of your being. Here's some contemplations as you think about this theme of tenderness. What layers of myself feel burned out or need tending? What tenderness can I offer to myself? What tenderness can I offer to others? Yourself first, and then only if you feel you have the capacity to others. All right, so that was Wisdom of the Shadow. What else, Spirit? Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. And then I think we will, well, we still got some time. We got some time for a few more cards. How did that full moon over the weekend treat y'all? It kicked my ass. I don't know about y'all, but it kicked my ass. I had a little bit of everything going in, hit me from all areas, but I feel so much better for it. And I'm glad that what I needed to go through happened while I had these supportive energies available. So if anybody else is feeling a little scorned, maybe that tenderness card is what you need right now. All right, angels and ancestors. Snake. It's the year of the snake, yes? In Chinese astrology. And it says, shed old skin. Spirit is really hammering in this message of letting go, releasing, stepping out of the old into the new. Let's see, snake. You are not going to be in the section I think you're going to be in, are you? Where are you? There we go. Shed old skin, the message, cast off the old, reveal your true colors, talents, and gifts to the world. Ooh, you know what that tells me? When I get a message about revealing your gifts to the world, that tells me that some of y'all, maybe myself too, in the audience are not sharing your gifts. Maybe you're shy. Maybe you're going through imposter syndrome. Maybe whatever story you're telling yourself about why you're not sharing your gifts needs to be let go of. But you are all very gifted, very talented, very spiritually inclined, very powerful. And the world needs that now, not later, not tomorrow, not this afternoon, now. How can you share your gifts? In many spiritual traditions, the snake offers powerful medicine. In tantric teachings, it symbolizes the kundalini, which is the powerful serpentine energy within that allows you to reach your highest spiritual potential. Ooh, I like that. When the sacred ones saw a snake in nature or encountered one in a dream, they knew that there was a transformation in the air. For me, the author, Kyle Gray, the snake card not only represents the shedding of old skin, but moving beyond the limitations caused by carrying the venom of negative thoughts about others or the past. God damn, Kyle Gray came with the message. Woo! Let me read that one more time for those of y'all that was asleep. For me, Kyle Gray, the snake card not only represents the shedding of old skin, but moving beyond the limitations caused by carrying the venom of negative thoughts about others or the past. And I'm going to add, or yourself. Do any of you have negative thoughts about yourself? Duh, yeah, I'm human. So maybe it's time to shed some of those negative thoughts, like a snake would shed its skin. Here's the extended message. The energy of renewal is washing over your life at this time. If for some reason you feel that your true self hasn't been recognized or you've been misread by others, know this energy is now leaving you. As you've been working through your old stories and all the self-limiting beliefs that you've accumulated along the way, you've been peeling away a shield of skin that has created limiting experiences. Limiting beliefs lead to limiting experiences, living a life of less than. Your own personal commitment to growth has been recognized, and now the external world will begin to reflect all of the work that you've been doing within. Hallelujah. If you feel someone you love has misunderstood you recently, they will be able to see beyond that if you're willing to recognize your own challenges. This is a time for renewal. Y'all gonna like this next word, abundance and connection Within our membership, we've been talking about abundance all month long. Let yourself be reborn and celebrated. There's that rebirth theme coming up again. You know what I thought about for the reborn and celebration? As soon as I read reborn and celebrated, I got the image of a baby. When a baby is born, you have a celebration. Many of you know this, called a baby shower. We give gifts for the new baby. Maybe it's after they're born, maybe it's before they're born, doesn't matter. It's in celebration of the birth or the upcoming birth of this child. How about you all consider this your week to be reborn in whatever way that feels like it most resonates with you? Now, here's my little manifestation tip. I want you to throw yourself a baby shower. Maybe you actually make a whole deal out of it, invite some friends, or maybe it's just a personal thing. Throw yourself a baby shower. What gifts does the new reborn you want? Are they tools? Are they mindset shifts? Are they actual physical gifts? Chocolate fudge sundae? What gifts does the new you want? Rebirth, and then make sure you celebrate your rebirth. Throw yourself a baby shower. Maybe you get some new outfits. You always bring clothes for the babies. Always, always. There's like 20 outfits and they wear them for 20 minutes a piece before they grow right out of them. I remember them days. I have 4 youngins, y'all. All right. So that's your manifestation tip. Think about your rebirth, your personal rebirth. Where do you, what areas of your life need to be reborn? And then make sure you celebrate that rebirth. Celebrate it adds that element of joy. And joy is how we manifest faster. Oh, the chat is busy. What am I missing? What do I need to get caught up on? I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's going to end our group card pulls. We're now going to move into individual card pulls for this last portion. Please put over in the chat, pick me if you are interested in receiving a 1-card pull for guidance, support for your week ahead. Kimberly, who set us on the right path. Let me figure out which deck I'm going to pull from because I don't think it's going to be Tarot. Spirit is not leading me towards, really? Which is wisdom. We might switch decks depending on who's on first. Right now for Kimberly, we're going with Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. That, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh, Lord.
What you got for me, Val?
We got 1 card that felt like it was the card I should pull, but then I felt the energy of these other cards literally almost moving my fingers. Oh, of course, of course. Okay, so I feel like a lot of these messages, Kimberly, for you, but I feel like these messages are also for the collective. And here's why, because I just pulled, this is the one that I felt energetically, moon cycles. We just had a full moon.
Yeah.
That energy is, oh, look, the 3 women. I know that's supposed to be like the 3
cups.
But we had 3 women in the 3 of Cups too. Remember dancing around?
Yep.
Moon is also related to water. So I feel like all of these messages are tying together. That's the one that had the most energy. So I'm going to read that message first. Moon and cycles. Witch's wisdom. After an arduous journey, Moon appears to indicate that you are coming to the end of a phase. There's that message again for all of us. Cycles begin and end and begin again, but in a new form. Patterns repeat until the lessons have been fully understood and learned. As you step into this new phase, be expectant and full of anticipation, for you will not wish to go over old ground again. New opportunities await, so be vigilant. Outcomes lie in your hands. Who? Spirit's hands? No. You praying for some external force to come in and bless you? Outcomes lie in your hands. Call down the moon as she embraces you in her soft, luminous glow. Bathe under the pure, feminine, and restorative energy she immerses you with. Recharge your working crystals under her full presence and go sky clad in honor of the triple goddess who watches over you. Y'all know what sky clad means, don't you? It means be naked. Listen, do it within your house, preferably. Maybe open the window so the moonlight comes in so you can still connect. I don't want y'all to get arrested. That's what I'm saying. But when I start my cult, we're all gonna be naked, just so y'all know. All right. Okay. Go skyclad in honor of the triple goddess who watches over you as the moon rules your emotions. Never forget that she also lives within you as you work in conjunction with her phases, honoring at all times your new, full, and dark aspects of maiden, mother, and crone. Here's her foresight. Open up your receptive feminine side. Your emotions are ruled by the moon phase. Harness the moon's energy and understand her phases for your magical work. Work in conjunction with the triple goddess. I guess I'll go ahead and read this last portion too. The moon revealed. Ancient civilizations used the moon to scry with and to predict weather patterns. We know this. The oceans of the world, cycles of nature, emotions, birds, and animals are all affected by the moon. From the new moon waxing to the full moon to the waning moon, plants and herbs, as well as spell casting, are affected by and worked with each lunar phase. So there you go, moon cycles. I do believe, especially based on the energy of the cards when I was drawing them, that is the message for you, Kimberly.
Thank
The
you,
other
Valerie.
two cards that did pop up, which I'll just briefly go over for the collective, are dedication. That's the one that just looked like it needed to be pulled. And then this one had an energetic pull to it as well, which is respect. Dedication, altar. Dedication, altar. I'm just going to give you a quick read based on the image. Dust your altar off, figure out your altar. Some of us have physical altars, some of us have mental altars, whatever that is for you. Do some work on refreshing it and resituating it for the new you. Maybe that's your baby shower. And
Yeah,
then
I dusted my altar in years, I think.
maybe that's why Spirit was like, pull this card too. Pull this card too. All right. And then we have respect and pentacles. Pentacle and respect. This is giving off just vibes. I don't know. I don't read from this deck enough to tell you what the actual author intended, but this is giving off vibes of respect for sacred practices for me, which kind of ties into the altar, making sure it's clean and situated and pulling in the energy you want, that there's no stagnant energy situating surrounding your altar, but also respect for any sacred practices that you might be within. Trying to give a little bit more time to your meditation, maybe. Making sure your crystals aren't on the floor. Why am I saying that? Because I got a garnet crystal on the floor right now by my toes. But to get adding a bit of sacredness to your practices and your spiritual practices is what I'm getting from that card.
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. I'm seeing all the pick-me's, all the pick-me. T-E-E. Pick me. Your card is coming from the tarot. Let's do a quick read on that. What does T need to know for this week ahead? Let me see if I can get. He, she, her. All right, excellent.
Tisha? Oh, you're here.
Tisha.
You just unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Ooh, now this is interesting. 3 of Cups again, different deck, 78 fucking cards, and I still managed to pull the 3 of Cups. So this is a repeating message for the collective, but also a specific message to really drill that point in for you. And I'm going to go to the book and just see what Spirit has to say through the book instead of through my own personal interpretation, since I already gave that earlier. 3 of Cups. The keywords are friendships, abundance, there's that word again, cooperation, community, closeness with siblings, joy, communication, celebration, and soul contracts. Here's the message. The packs you run the packs you run with, and the kindred connections you forge are not always defined by blood, yet they are your living and breathing support system. Deep friendships are the families we choose, and these sacred connections are to be cherished and nurtured. In the best and worst of times, your companion service mirrors, allowing you to see who you really are through their eyes. Who do you need to reach out to for support? Call in your besties and enjoy the warm laughter that comes from a powerful soul group. Your mutually loving and beneficial bond carries vibrational attractions that are often ancient, and any setbacks arising from miscommunication or disharmony with others may be old wounds or patterns that are resurfacing to be healed. If an important connection has gone awry, it may be time to make amends. If you need to commit more energy to cultivating friendships, trust your heart to lead you. And then the affirmation statement is, I connect into this sacred siblinghood and into this expansive experience of witnessing through time. Love that.
I am not on the ball, Valerie, and I brought you to Tisha, and there is a Tisha and a T.
Okay, that's fine. That message was for T, T-E-E.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know what? I have not been on the ball all week. I'm gonna blame it on the moon. I don't care if she is nice. I'm gonna blame it on her. Blame it on the moon. Y'all remember that song, Blame It on the Rain? Every time I get into a mood, I sing it. Blame it on the moon. She keeps shining, shining. Blame it on the moon. She's fucking with my emotions. All right, let's go. Who's up next? We did Kimberly. We did T. I don't even remember who I pulled last week. But I'm going to Michaela. Michaela's here. Hi,
Hello.
Michaela.
Been a while.
Yes. All
Thank you. I'm
right.
glad you picked me.
Yes. Okay. Which deck, Spirit? Which deck does Michaela need to hear from? Believe in your own magic. Do you believe in magic? I'm just full of songs today. Y'all's ears are going to be bleeding by the end of this hour. Okay. Part number 30. Castle. It's time for healing, not war. Castle. It's time for healing, not war. This is Amanda Lovelace, Believe in Your Own Magic. And let's see what Castle is about. Card number 30. Don't burn something down to the ground unless you have a plan to build something better in its place. But it's too late for that, isn't it? You got angry, you pointed fingers, you called for war, and war was exactly what you got. Now that it's time for healing and reparations, what's your plan? You need to take the same initiative and determination you had when this started and figure it out. Never neglect your intuition. Now, I do want to make a word about this because I don't know that angry pointing fingers called for war and getting war lines up with what I know about you, Michaela. However,
Yeah, not so much.
yeah, this does not have to be external. So think more in spiritual and allegoric terms. Is there a war going on within yourself? Do you have conflicting emotions or conflicting thoughts or that idea of I can't or I don't? That's waging a war within yourself by telling yourself stories that are stirring up all these emotions, making you feel some type of way, not really feeling good or optimistic, instead feeling kind of negative. That internal war can also be what this particular card is talking about. So you need to take some initiative and determination The same determination you had when you started telling yourself those stories that caused internal conflict is the determination you need to take towards rewriting those stories to come to a place of peace and understanding within yourself. Now, does that message resonate a little bit more?
Yes.
The storylines and the internal war and the unrest. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was your message for today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yay. All right. Diana. Yeah, I do not have my glasses in there, nowhere where I can grab them. So it's either Diane or Diana.
Diane,
Diane, you're up
thank
there.
you.
Sacred Self-Care Oracle is what you're getting. It's what the group's getting because Spirit just said this is for Diane specifically, but it's also for the group. We've already talked some about self-care, but this one I feel like is really gonna drive home the message. What is this card? Alone time. Alone time. Look at the beach and the water. Emotions. Looks like she's surrounded by planets as well. Astrological influences. Alone time, card number 2. What does Diane specifically and the collective more generally need to know? The mantra is, I make time to focus on myself. Joyously explore your alone time. Think about what you would like to do in solitude, then plan so that your time can be freed up and your commitments are put on pause. Find peace and stillness by completely tuning into your own needs. You can keep it simple and plan something like a quiet night at home to journal and be introspective. Go for a walk, work on a creative project, meditate, or try any solo activity that feels restorative to you. Be sure to communicate to your loved ones how important this is to you. Make them aware of how it allows you to show up more fully in daily life. That way, they can support you by respecting the time you need to be alone without interruption. Here's a journal prompt. How does having alone time make you feel? What emotions and memories come up for when you're alone? Interesting prompt. I used to date somebody. It wasn't so much about alone time. I don't think he had a problem. Well, maybe he had a problem with being alone and also PTSD. And I don't really understand all of the intricacies of PTSD. But I used to date someone who could not have quiet at all times throughout his 24 hours. Either the TV was on, he was in conversation, he was on his phone. There was no silent time around this individual, and we cohabitated for a while. So for me, in order for me to get what I needed for alone time, because I need peace and quiet for my alone time, even if the TV's in the other room, that's not alone time for me. I needed peace and quiet. So I used to have to leave the house or go out in the backyard, but do what you need to do. I cannot imagine living in a life where there's no quiet, but some people can't imagine living in a life with quiet. How does quiet time, alone time, make you feel when you think about it? Does it throw your nervous system off or does it make you feel peace and calm?
Oh, I get peace and calm. I love my alone time.
Yes, yes. Do that this week. Multiple times if you can. That's Spirit's advice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we've got about 4 minutes left. I'm not going to pull another card for anyone. Thank you all so much for allowing me to pull for you if you were one of the ones that were chosen. But I do want to close real quick with just some clearing. If you are an energy worker, please feel free to add your skills. We talked about sharing your gifts earlier. Please feel free to add your skills and your gifts to this next portion. And if you are sensitive to energy work and don't feel like participating in this portion, feel free to go ahead and bow out, but hopefully you'll stick around. I'm going to invite everyone, close your eyes. Imagine a beautiful, soft, glowing light from the cosmos, from the universe, washing down over you and clearing away anything that you don't need. Shedding that skin like the snake, washing away in the water, letting the light remove the darkness, whatever image best helps you release those energies that aren't serving you. And if you are an energy worker and you feel called to do so, send out some energy to help this group clear and cleanse. That's all we're going to do. Clear and cleanse. Let this energy wash over you and clear away what's no longer serving you. Then take a deep breath in. And on that exhale, I want you to push that air out and release the last bits of what's not serving you. All right. Open your eyes up. Thank you for all my energy workers. I could feel it. I could feel the amplitude turned up. And now that you feel a little bit more cleared and refreshed, I invite you to sit after this call is over and call in and set your intentions for what you want to manifest for this week. Fill that space back in with what you want, with your intentions, with your focus, and with a little love and joy for added benefit. All right. Thank you all so much. This has been a wonderful, magical Monday. And I hope you take all of these messages of guidance from Spirit and apply them so that your manifestations can begin to flow. Thanks, everyone. Love to you all. Have a great day.